to talk about kitchen machines.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. And right here is a lot of money. A lot of money. But in the home kitchen, kitchen machines, thanks to the Industrial Revolution, makes our lives a little bit better. A lot of people are going to go, I don't have enough room for all of this. No, you don't need all of this. What we're going to talk about today are mixers, blenders, and food processors, and what might be good for just a home cook, the home kitchen. So, if we need machines, now all of these machines can be replaced with a whisk and a wooden spoon in a bowl, can be replaced with a lot of chopping.
Life skills.
Yes. Whipping with big whisks and a sore elbow, and lots of chopping.
So basically what you're saying is that this replaces dedication and skill, right? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Internet. Don't get mad.
Actually, what I'm saying is that your old mom likes to have machines do my work,
Hey.
if they can do it in the same manner. But not all machines are alike. So today we're going to look at the differences in how you would use, I might want to mention this was actually a segment that was requested from a photographer friend of mine, Mary Krettenser, that call out for Mary, that I met while I was a member of the Fort Worth PPA Guild. So,
Cool.
Mary, you requested this. Here it is.
Wait, hold on. Mary, smash that like button.
Smash the like button. Okay, so we digress,
Yeah,
as always.
that's
You
it.
can't have us together. It's no good.
Yeah.
So we're going to start off with looking at food processors. So we'll be back in just a minute. Food processors.
Oh, boy.
If you need to chop something up or grate something or make hash browns, let me tell you, these things are fantastic. I've owned a lot of different brands. Remember the big old ones that I had for since the 70s?
Ones that I grew up with?
Right.
Yep, I
What
do remember
What were those? The La Machine.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
and I had 3 of
La
those.
Machine, that's right.
It lasted me through 3 husbands.
Yeah, it's funny when they built things that weren't designed to fail in 2 years.
No, it's
Looking
true.
at you, modern manufacturers.
But La Machine was the go-to, and if you had a food processor back in the 70s, you were cranking, man.
Oh.
You were a cool kid.
Oh.
Now they're a commonplace. Well, they finally gave up after 40 years
Well,
of use.
most people
And-
retire after that long.
And so I've replaced them with Cuisinart, a trusted brand. And it is important, and I'm going to say, I don't get paid from Cuisinart or KitchenAid or any other products that we mention. We
Y'all
mentioned,
can, though. Yeah,
But-
KitchenAid,
but-
Cuisinart. Hey,
yeah, we
Just
wouldn't
saying.
mind a little kickback.
hey, you know what? I will say all the good things about your product. I am for sale.
It just happens that they are good.
Oh, yeah, it's true. Yeah.
But the old adage of you get what you pay for.
I do live by that
It's
almost
true.
every day. It is true.
So when I researched after my La Machines kind of went tango uniform, as we used to say, I did a lot of research and found out that the Cuisinarts came up on top multiple times. Now there's other brands, but I urge you to look at the price structure of a machine and then look at how often are you going to use it. So if you're not a big cook and you wanted lesser, sure, go ahead and get it. But what might happen is that it break down on you and then you don't have it. So these will last forever. The motors are nice, etc. So here we have 2 different sizes. So this is the mom and this is the baby. So this could be Melinda and this could be Charles.
Are you doing the office zoom in on my face at those moments, John? Yeah,
This could be
Wait,
Melinda.
Are you doing the zoom? Wait, let me do the thing.
This could be Melinda.
What is it, the Kravinsky or whatever his name was, dude?
And this will be Charles. Okay, but This one can handle, this is 14 cups, so it can handle a lot. I can make pie doughs in here, bread bases in here, etc. And the reason you would use a food processor right now instead of like a mixer is that it does what it says. It processes the food. So these are nothing but big, sharp, whirling knives.
Yeah, that's what you get at this channel. Big, whirling, dangerous objects.
Yes.
Put your hands in,
It's
please.
it's like being a farmer. Everything in here is going to hurt you if you're not smart.
I am going to take your word on it.
Okay, so if we see that it has a whole lot of sharp blades, it's going to take the place of chopping. So why would you have this big food processor? Well, if you're going to make a salsa, if you're going to make hash browns, if you're going to get a bunch of carrots all shredded up, because
Maybe
a ceviche. I mean, how many things do you chop? And the nice thing I like about these, now this one has, see my little, it's a special holder.
Ooh. Oh my gosh, Melinda Julian, what are those things over there?
These hold different plates. You can put this guy in here. And these hold different discs.
As you feed through.
And you feed through, and it has shredding, like if you were going to shred a bunch of cheese, instead of doing the
and potentially
knuckle
losing
grinding.
Losing skin.
Right. You just put it in here, put the lid on, whoop, out you go. It also can, and you can buy different blades for different things. I don't have a lot of blades because I tend to do a lot of my own knife work.
Right.
But like if you were going to slice potatoes, the nice thing about this is that it will do it and it'll be consistently sliced as
Yeah.
long as the pressure you put is even.
Leads to even cooking.
Right. So one of my favorite things to use those blades for, especially is if I'm making hash browns or coleslaw.
I imagine anything that you've got a large batch that you need to
Absolutely.
make. Down here in Texas, I can tell you that probably one of the main things that we get used for would be salsa.
Salsa. Yeah, I use it a whole lot for
So,
salsa.
yeah, I imagine if you got a lot of prep, a lot of stuff that you're trying to prepare,
Right.
rather than, not that you can't do it by hand, I've seen her
Sure,
do
you
it.
can do it by hand.
Pretty nice to be able to just, hey, machine, get in there.
Get in there
better,
and do it.
Better living through technology.
Now,
really.
one thing you do want to look for when you are looking at a food processor is how big of a food processor do you need? Do you do a lot of large quantities like coleslaws and a lot of sauce, or are you doing a lot of chunky soups, etc.? You would want something that can hold the amount of liquid that you're getting ready to get, and you want a motor that's powerful enough to turn whatever it is you're trying to chop.
All right, yeah, that sounds right to me.
So in a food processor, the food is chopped horizontally. Nothing is pulled in like it is in a blender, which is why some things you use a blender for and some things you use a food processor for. One thing that you also want to look for is the ability to feed while the tube is open.
Hey,
So
adults, don't
once
put your
you,
hands up.
on a machine like this, once you click this off, the machine will no longer work. So you can add your big stuff, like remember we made basil pesto? This made it in like
Yes.
no time. That's episode whatever.
By the way, anyone who likes pesto, I can personally attest that pesto is as good as any of the pestos I had on my study abroad in Italy when I was still going to college. So
Yep.
for real, the
But we
recipe is
needed-
delicious.
But we needed a strong motor to process that Parmesan.
yeah, I would agree.
So, hold on. John's trying to tell me something. Oh, yes. Thank you, John.
What?
He was trying to tell me that we also use this to make butter.
Oh.
That's in the episode that actually comes out today at 2 o'clock.
Oh,
So you do want to have a motor that's big enough to do what you want it to do. This guy, I use this one primarily for, like, if I have to grind a lot of nuts, walnuts, pecans, that kind of thing, or if I just need a little bit of something, like if I'm just making a small salsa or a little pico de gallo, I may use this one.
well, it's like just my wife and I. That would, like, I certainly would never have a need for anything that large as the bigger of the two, but like for me, that would be a much better
Yes.
size. Just two people. So.
And this also has the ability to feed while it's on.
Can my hand fit in there?
Do it.
Oh man.
Those people at Cuisinart.
Oh, dang it.
They know how
How
to
am
do
I
it.
supposed to get a lawsuit now?
But the one thing you wouldn't want to try to do is anything that you really needed to puree fine, like a really fine soup. This
Yeah.
will cut it way down, but you'll still have to strain it. Which brings us to our next machine, which is the blender. Now,
I take it this
this
blender?
one right there.
This big old
That one.
son of a gun?
Now, we've had this blender for a long time. John and I used to own a restaurant and a bar, and it's actually one of our old bar blenders. So it is. Now, blenders, you can get these pretty cheap. I wouldn't do it. You really want a name brand that you can trust. And being a bar blender, we really use these
I would imagine, yeah.
every single day, all day.
They're like the Crown Vicks.
Yes.
of
Now, the other
blenders.
ones we have stainless tops to it because we did a lot of frozen drinks.
Yeah.
And so the stainless was kept chilled so that it would make the drink a little bit better. But this, because the blade is central and it's supposed to make it pull it in from the top, pull it in from the top, pull it in from the top. And because the blade is very fine and moves very fast, it's going to be your best bet for mixed drinks, smoothies, things like soups that you want to be really super pureed. But it doesn't have, I wouldn't like put big hunks of carrots in here. So if you wanted to make carrot juice, we're going to talk about juicers in another. No carrot juice. We are going
Nope.
to talk about.
I'm not a carrot juice guy.
We are going to talk about juicers in another episode. This is a series of information. So a good bar blender comes in handy, but you wouldn't want to try to make a pie dough in here
Why not, Melinda?
because it doesn't do like this. It's not smooth. You need these. Okay, that brings us to the next blender, which is an immersion blender.
These
Now-
are pretty legit, actually.
Yeah, these are a handy item.
They're really nice. I got some experience with these bad boys. You don't know you need one
Until you get one.
one, and all of a sudden you find out how many things are way easier with one of these.
Well, the nice thing about this is, let's say that you've got a nice sauce that you want to create, and you've got some mushrooms, some onions, and stuff like that in it. Or like the cream corn. Remember the cream corn we just did at Meatloaf? I didn't have enough liquid in there to cover the holes, so it just shot all over me. It was great. I mean, it's good for you to see these things happen.
Yeah.
But you can do this right in the pot.
Pro tip, don't turn an emulsion blender on and put it into the thing. Don't do that.
Did you find that out?
I did.
It'll fly everywhere.
It does.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you want to be able to
Put it in the
this
fluid.
this basically
In the
has
blender.
sort of the same blades as the big blender. Now this one's made by Braun, and I bet I've had this 20 years.
It looks like you have had it 20 years.
Yeah, but again, buy good products and they last. But you can put this directly down into a pan of hot liquids and vegetables. And then once it's submerged under here, you want to make sure that the liquid is under here. You can whir it around and it will make a really nice puree.
Yeah, great for purees,
Yeah.
a lot of soups. If the smoothness, for lack of a better term, of whatever it is you're trying to make is important, these
Yeah,
are
these
so
are-
wonderful.
these
Well,
come in
I mean,
handy.
professional chefs all over the world
They
use
call them
these
motorboats.
all the time. So, I mean,
At our old
There you go.
restaurant, we had a big one that had the big and the long thing, and you went because we had big pots.
great for
All right,
sauces.
hand me the little attachment. Now, I personally don't use this little attachment, but it's so cute I hesitated
I was
to
about
not bring
say,
it
I
out.
don't even know what that is. I see what it is now.
Yeah, so you actually attach this to it, and it'll spin that so you could do like a really quick little nuts or something small, or maybe even a coffee or something like that.
Wow.
And you can use this motor to do this. So I don't really use this very much. I probably should. It's really cute. I like it. And look, it looks cute.
I'm amazed that you actually even have it after all those years, to be honest.
I have everything I've always had, except husbands. Number 3. I'm hard to put up with. Okay, that brings.
She said it. I didn't say it.
Why is the cameraman smiling right now?
Because he's endured it for 20 plus years, I think.
Oh, he's all right. Okay, so now we're going to look at a hand mixer. We're going to go to the mixers.
Which one is it one of these?
I don't know.
Oh, man.
You get to pick. Okay, this guy is old as Methuselah. I don't even know how long I've had him. It's a Sunbeam. You know, do you remember? No, you don't remember, but I grew up with the mixer that sat on a stand like a KitchenAid, and it kicked back, and the little bowl turned on a thing underneath it
Yeah.
because this would turn it.
I'm not so young that I don't know what that. I've seen those
Yeah, but-
archaic devices occasionally in scrawling on walls and whatnot, right? Yeah.
Yes, cave drawings.
Yeah.
Anyway, these are really super handy because it is a hand mixer. So if you don't want to pull out the big KitchenAid and you just need to whip together maybe some mashed potatoes
With
or
the hand
with
mixer.
your hand,
Whoa!
if you want to just do some mashed potatoes, or you want to do some quick whipped cream, that kind
Or
of
you
thing,
just want to make a mess in your kitchen.
or you just want
This
to make
is the device for you. Trust me. This is.
the thing you don't want to do is you don't want to try to mix dough or anything
Yeah. Don't.
like this.
I was just thinking. Don't. This is not to be applied
gonna
to
happen.
floured anything.
No flowers, or
Right.
else you get it everywhere.
Yeah. I mean.
Now, the other nice thing about it is if you have a small container, small bowl that you just need to whip something real quick, you can just take one of these out and go ring, 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 ring. Yeah, you can.
That was a very nice sound effect.
I do it. I wish I could have hit the hole.
That's
Okay.
inappropriate. Yeah.
So
Have to edit that one out.
those are pretty nice, and I bet you that you grew up working with those. You remember the egg
yeah.
beaters? I still have them, and I still use them from time to time. So now we're going to come to the machines that you see the most,
To the big boys.
to the big girls.
Oh well.
Yes.
Are
The
these very
girls.
strong and empowered
These
stand
are
mixers?
Yes, these
Okay.
these are empowered women right
There
here.
you go. There it is.
Okay, bring the other one over too. All right. So here are the girls. Blanche and Betty.
Couple of redheads coming to you.
I think I could not function if I didn't have my KitchenAids.
They're a really,
I think I
really
use them
solid.
at least
Yeah.
5 times a week.
I mean, they're really super. Well, they're tried and true. I mean, there are millions of households in America alone, I'm sure, that have a variant of these somewhere in there. They're
Well,
good.
and you may even have your mothers or your grandmothers.
yeah,
They're
take care
very
of them.
easy to maintenance. My husband, John, who is currently my cameraman, can take this apart and maintenance them pretty easily. But I really have never had too many problems with them. So there's several sizes. There's even one smaller than this. But these are the 2 sizes I go back and forth with. And it's this difference in motor. How strong is it?
Yeah.
So if I'm making a big bread, that dough, yeah, especially if it's a big bread, I'm going to use this because the dough, this motor can really get that moving,
Doesn't
and
strain
it doesn't overheat it.
Yeah.
I also use this one more for my meats when I grind meats and such, because while this one can do it, it'll heat up because it's smaller. And those meats, I grind a lot of it at the time,
Yeah,
not just
yeah.
a little bit. But the attachment fits both of them.
Mhm.
So you can use this for that. This girl right here, she's fairly new. We bought a new smaller one this year. See how shiny red she is?
I see that it's the
Metallic candy apple red.
artisan
Yes.
design.
And this one is called a tilt head, whereas this one is a lift. And this one is a tilt head. So with this one, I do my cake batters, things that really don't require a huge motor like this one does. I do my pasta with this one because it can roll it just fine. Cookie batter, cookie dough's okay.
Yeah.
Big breads, you use this one. If I had to say which one would you really want to get, you'd want to get this one.
I was about to say, that's the most
Right.
popular one. That's the same model that we have at our house.
Well, I buy all my daughter-in-law's KitchenAids, remember? One Christmas.
I do.
Hmm.
I do. I remember.
They're like my little babies. But you have to look at how much can it hold. So I also do a lot of bread baking, and I need something that can hold a lot of flour and move it. So I use this one for that.
Yeah.
But the problem is if you buy the big one, you go, well, why don't you just buy the big one and then you can use it? Well, if you try to put something small in here, it really won't process it very well because there's too much space.
Yeah.
So these, and you can buy different bowls. You can buy stainless, you can buy glass. I like to have different ones depending on what I'm doing. Like if I'm whipping cream, I want to use the stainless one that I left in the freezer for a little while so that it's cold.
Yeah.
But anything that's light, you can use this one. So yes, this one's really super cool to have, the Pro 600, but if you just could have one, this Artisan is just fine. It can do everything you want, from whipping to mixing, rolling your pasta, and it can do ground meat. You just have to let it stop for a little bit and kind of cool off. So I typically just put my hand up here and see if it's getting too hot because I don't want it to shut down.
Well, and your average person at home that's cooking,
right, they're not going to cook the way we cook.
Yeah, you do a lot of heavy cooking by most people's standards, but I would imagine 99.9% of the time, your average person who's doing any form of home cookery, that this will be more than enough.
Absolutely.
You will probably never even get close to reaching the limit of its performance.
Oh gosh, no.
But I've been there when you've done it as well. But on big stuff, if you need all that power, then get it. I mean,
if
there's
you
no
do a
point
lot
to
of,
stress it needlessly when, I mean, there's a reason they produce this and that.
So if you're baking a huge batch of cookie dough,
Either do it in 2 batches or do it in a big one.
Or if you're making a big bread, this is really where I use this one the most.
That's usually what I've seen a lot of these, especially these being raised and lowered mixers. Usually when I see that, it is in regards to bakeries and bread, other kinds of breads and so forth.
Right. So if I had to say, Charles, the well-equipped kitchen for the average cook, not somebody who's an enthusiast, but just does an average cook, I would definitely say the Artisan KitchenAid. And one note on this, look under here and see if you can find my dough hooks or whatever while I'm doing this. One thing that I do want to mention is when you get these, they come with a paddle, they come with a dough hook, and they
like that,
a paddle
and like this,
and a dough hook, and then they come with a whisk. The one thing that I will mention, and I've mentioned it before, and here's a perfect example. The original ones that come with it, I want to sterilize everything in the dishwasher.
Oh yeah, I forget. Yeah.
You cannot put these in the dishwasher, or you get this powder on you. When I ordered these are the ones that came with it, and this is the dough hook. I ordered the stainless steel ones, or at least the enameled ones, because I do want to put these things in the dishwasher and sterilize them completely. The first time I saw this, I freaked out.
Yeah.
And then I Googled it, of course, and KitchenAid said, well, we told you not to put that in the dishwasher.
Yeah. Well, and you
Because
certainly wouldn't want that to get
You don't want it to come off in your food.
Right.
So I would suggest, that's the only thing. KitchenAid, stop selling us these. We're going to put things in the dishwasher. Give us the enameled cover.
That's why they sell it to you. So that you do that, and then you're like, dang, now I got to get that enameled.
It is not. It's just probably less expensive to make. But if you're going to do it right. Get the stainless steel ones, or at least the white enameled ones. And the white enamels will chip every once in a while. But I just cut to the chase and get the stainless.
Yeah.
So I would definitely suggest this with the stainless or enameled attachments.
Yeah. I agree.
I would definitely, so here you can put these back from whence they came. I would definitely suggest a little immersion blender. And these things are really inexpensive. And they come in really handy.
Yeah, they're pretty
And
nice.
at least the small KitchenAid. I mean the small Cuisinart. Sorry, Cuisinart. If I had to only have a few things, it would be this right here. This combination can pretty much do anything you'd want to do.
You can do a lot of things.
And then as you grow in your culinary skills, you can upgrade if you want to.
Well, and you haven't even mentioned attachments.
Right.
I mean, like that's where these things really get the bang
It
for the
is.
buck. Is that you
They
can
have
put any kind
ice
of
cream makers.
pasta makers,
Pasta
meat
makers.
grinders, like
Matter of
probably
fact,
every kind
on my
of
wish
attachment
list
comes
right
with-
now is some of the pasta dies so that I can make shaped pastas.
Are you guys picking up on this really subtle
Yeah.
dropping of like, hey, eldest son, buy this for me?
Now, if you had room for one more thing, I'd go with a nice blender. You don't have to buy a bar blender, obviously, because they're pretty expensive, but at least look at a good one. Look at the ratings and the reviews
Yeah.
and do a little research. But if you have these 4 things, this easily can go in a drawer. Yes, this has to sit on your cabinet. This has to sit on your cabinet.
This is bragging
doesn't-
rights, though.
Yeah, it
Right?
is.
Anybody comes in your house, why do you think
And they
people
have-
pay extra for this?
Have you
red?
seen all the colors they come
Yeah.
in? And
Yes, I have.
Yes.
Because my wife has a turquoise one.
she had to have turquoise.
Yeah, but I mean
Yes.
for real, like, oh no, this beautiful, very prestigious, like,
Yeah. And they look cool.
yeah. I mean, they look legit.
And
That-
then this
there
you
go.
can always put in a cabinet if you don't use it a lot. But this is what I would say you would need to be equipped with to make cooking a little bit more fun.
It would certainly make it a little more
It's
accessible.
easy. Yes.
You know, if you've got formal food training, you've got refined knife skills and other assorted things, and I imagine a lot of what we just talked about isn't particularly relevant to you because you physically have these skills in and amongst yourself. But if you're not, like 90% of us, they're wonderful to have. You know, I mean, it makes it to where you can do more in a shorter amount of time.
Right.
With
Less effort.
hopefully no injuries. Right?
Well, and it gives you a consistent product.
That's true, and you know, it's consistency in cooking is consistent cooking. Right.
We're going to actually do a knife education class. Charles will be here for that one. He's the knife aficionado. Yes, he can definitely tell you a lot about knives.
I don't use them like that. I'm just.
Right. So these are the ones I would recommend if you only have a little space. Mixer, food processor, blender, immersion blender. Those are the things I think that any well-equipped house
Yeah.
would have.
Yeah, I mean, I can say I don't have a blender in my house. I don't have a lot of occasion to use a blender, but I have had those occasions where I'm like, man, my life would be a lot easier if I had a blender at my disposal. So, you know, if you've run into those occasions a lot,
Right.
knock yourself out. That's a good one too. I don't know if you'll be able to get one like that, but man, this one's the number one
Yeah,
because
I
it's
agree.
like 20 machines in one. You
It
start
is.
getting all those attachments. I mean, really.
Well, you know, now they have an attachment for this that actually has blades on it to do food processing.
Can you just attach a like
You can-
professionally trained chef to these things or
I
something?
think
and
so.
just- Gordon Ramsay attachment. I'd buy
So
one.
I hope you've enjoyed reviewing just some basic kitchen machines. Thank you, Mary, for writing in and asking for this episode.
And smashing the like
Smash
button.
the like
No!
button.
Smash it.
Smash it. I didn't know that was a thing.
It actually is a thing. I'll walk
Okay.
you through it. Hey,
Okay.
YouTube, I'm insert random person. Smash that notification bell. Smash the like button. Everybody on the internet that watches YouTube, they'll know.
Okay.
We know what's happening.
All right. Well, the 4 people that are watching
Yeah,
us
there you
may
go.
not
Yeah,
know.
here it is. Hey.
We're going to follow this up with a series of kitchen equipment and kitchen utensils and what they would be used for. You'd be surprised how many whisks there are and that they're all used for something different. So you can't have just one whisk. Well, you can, but it won't be the same.
Japanese would not approve. You
That
can't
would
make
not
matcha with a regular whisk.
Cannot make it.
Must,
It must be bamboo.
must be the correct one.
So stay tuned. And thank you, Mary, for writing in. If y'all want to hear anything else about other items, just contact us. Put it in comments, and maybe we'll put it on the show. Thanks, Charles, for coming in and helping me with the equipment. And thank you for smashing the like,
There you go. See?
smashing the like on
And-
home
25,000 likes, and we'll
on the home cooking kitchen.
yeah, and I don't know, we'll do something.
But if we got 25,000 likes, I would give away a KitchenAid
It-
Artisan.
Well, to be blunt, if we got 25,000 likes, I would be like, something has happened.
Something's-
YouTube, you got some errors going on
There's
right now.
there's an algorithm somewhere.
Yeah. Well, and it ain't working the way you want it to work. All right.
So thanks for joining us today, and we'll look forward to seeing you in other events.